Okay. Good evening, everybody. Today is October 27th at 5:05. This is a meeting of the Sewer Commission. As a preliminary matter, my name is Dave McDonald. I'm the chairman of the commission. I'd like to do a roll call to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Please, when I call your name, just say aye. Michael Devakis.
Aye.
John Reynolds.
Yes.
Carl Luck.
Aye.
Brett Lamson, he'll be coming in a half hour or so. Jack Rodigans. Barb, he'll be coming in soon.
Right, hopefully.
Barbara. You here, Barb? You can hear us?
I'm here, thank you.
Hey, Jane, I know you can see us, and thank you very much for doing what you do. I guess tonight is Chip Empry, Al Pocket, and Chad Empry. Are they you guys? Who's representing Empry?
Chad is still working.
Okay, good.
Get back in time for the meeting.
That's what I like to hear. He's still working. Hope he's working on our system, right?
Well, hopefully not at this time of day.
Town of Lunenburg, in response to the COVID-19, is currently following the guidance from the Lunenburg Board of Health, Massachusetts Department of Public Health, and the CDC regarding the virus and steps communities can take to prevent the spread. Our town facilities are now open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. by appointment only outside those hours. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, all public meetings are being conducted remotely. The order, which you can find posted in the town website on COVID-19 Information Center. Excuse me 1 second. Information Center page, access through the town manager's web, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so as long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along in deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For the meeting, the Sewer Commission is conveying by video via the Zoom app as posted on the town website, identifying how the public may join. I'd like to start off with announcements. Jack, Barb, you want to hold off until later on your first announcement?
Yep.
Okay, the only announcement that I have, and we'll go back to that because Barb wants to make an announcement. The other announcement I have is I just want to thank everybody who helped us last weekend for the Lobsters of Lunenburg promotion. And a lot of people came out and showed their support for our first responders. So from the bottom of Betty and my heart and Mike's and everybody else who participated, from the Lions Club to Lake Shirley, thank you very much. It was a very successful event. Okay, first thing I want to do is any comment from the public. Rob, do you see any comments?
No, there is none.
Okay, do we have any public comment from the board? And I'm going to start going across. We'll start with Mike.
No, I don't, Dave.
Okay, I'm going by where you are on my Zoom app. John?
No, other than, does Jane know she's on video? Usually she's not.
That's okay, Jane, let people see you. And Mr. Luck.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I do have a public comment, but I would like to request, since one of our members is going to show up later, and the comment relates to a specific agenda item. If it's okay with you, I'd like to request that I defer the public comment until we get to that agenda item and be able to make that comment when we have the full commission before starting the agenda item.
Okay. What if Brett can't make it? Want to still talk about it at the agenda item?
I'm sorry, Dave, I didn't hear you.
But what if Brett can't make it for the time? Do you still want to wait?
Oh, I'll wait. If he can, that's great. If he can't, then I'll just make it before we start.
Okay.
Hopefully he can.
All right. Appointments tonight at 5 o'clock. We have Chip Empry and Al Pocket from our new O&M contractors, and we'd like to introduce you guys. And again, I think you know all of us. Al, we know you, but these guys are the ones who are protecting our assets and our pumps. And we'll just start it off by saying hi. And if you guys can say something about yourselves, that would be great.
Oh, I'm Chip Empey. I'm a partner in Chat TMP LLC. Been in this business for about 30 years, master electrician and journeyman electrician.
Al?
And most of you know me. With another operations firm for a number of years when I first came to the town. I have my wastewater and drinking water licenses, plus hydraulic licenses and all the whole 9 yards, and been taking care of the town on and off for 8, 9, 10 years, something like that, whatever it was. It's been a while. It's been a joy. Glad to be back.
You know what?
Welcome back.
Speaking on behalf of the commission, we're very happy that you are back. And what I'd just like to ask before I turn it over to the board is how do you feel the system's going? What can we do to support you? Things like that. So let's go with you guys on that. What do you see the biggest challenge coming up this year?
The stations were in a little bit of rough shape when I got them. I spent a full day in town, went through everything. We're pretty good. There's no major failures that I can see coming up. As far as maintenance goes, I've said this before, if you do what you're supposed to during the day, then you won't have alarm calls, and I think I've proved that. You know, with the exceptional mechanical failure, you can't foresee. It happens. Somebody throws something down a drain or whatever. But for the most part, the stations are running very well. We're working on the generator maintenance program with Barb to get. It's time to get those done. That's probably one of my biggest things that I see coming up is the maintenance on the generators. As far as I can, off the top of my head, I don't have my notes in front of me. Forgive me. But for the most part, everything is running well. I've been keeping up as we go. Little problems here and there we take care of like we're supposed to, and we don't have any expensive alarm call outs for you guys.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much. And Chip, I want to thank you. And is it your brother?
My son. My son.
Your son, okay. Oh, good. All right, even better. I just want to thank you guys for stepping up and working with this town, and hopefully we'll have a long and everlasting relationship. But you got a good boy there with Al, and again, from us, thank you very much. I'd like to open it up to the board, and again, we'll start across the board, starting with Mike. Mike, do you have any questions for our O&M operators?
Nothing really major. I think Dave kind of touched on the major question I was going to ask is, you know, what do you basically see that could be coming up in the future that would be a major problem for us? You know, and just kind of looking forward to working with you guys. Hopefully, you know, at some point in time, we can all get together and discuss the future of where we're going to go with the maintenance program and, you know, what we have for parts and pieces and what we have in-house in case we do get in trouble that we can get up and running as soon as we can if we do have an outage somewhere.
I can tell you that these guys will tell you that I've spent many a night bouncing back and forth. I live in Leominster.
Okay.
I bounce back and forth. There's one particular station every 2 hours because we had trouble. I had to go in the next day, but you do what you got to do.
Right.
And, the parts list that you guys have and the pumps that you guys have, I put together when I was with the original firm, and you guys executed it nicely. So we have stuff. I just gotta see what's left. That's all.
Okay. All right. Because I mean, I was 10 years running a maintenance department for a manufacturing plant. And I know the biggest thing is to make sure that you're maintaining the product, like you guys said earlier, maintaining the pumps and everything we need to do to eliminate our downtimes. But mechanical failures happen, and we have to make sure we have the right critical parts. Make sure we have them in-house. That way, again, like you said, you're not running around every hour, 2 hours trying to keep everything running. So, but I look forward to working with you guys, and hopefully we can all get together soon.
Sounds good.
Okay. Before I go on, Barbara, just let you know, I text Jack that link as well, just so you know.
That what?
Link for this meeting. I emailed him and also texted him.
Oh, as well. I got it. Okay.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
losing.
I'm not getting, I've texted him and emailed him and I'm not.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. John?
But I think Mike brought up a lot of good points. I agree with all those. I think with our former contractor, I think where the collective, we fell short is the communication about what was going on. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Jack leaving, who MP will be dealing with here in town, for the periodic updates, but it's just something we need to focus on to make sure that we are communicating the way we're supposed to and expected to.
I would assume would be Barb in the interim. Nothing's gonna change on my end, it's just.
Right. So is it going to be Barb? Barb?
For now,
Okay,
I mean, until we have someone that's in, it'll be me and then escalated to you guys if I need authorizations, or Heather, but we'll make it work. It'll work.
okay,
Once we finish this comment, I'll go over with a plan, because I talked to town manager, and I'll go over what we're looking at as soon as Kyle makes his remarks. Mr. Luck?
Yeah, well, welcome back, Al. It's good to see you. I sleep better at night now. Thank you very much. Yeah, I couple things. You may or may not be aware. I hope you're aware, but if not, we can fix that. That we're working on a maintenance plan. And are you aware of that, or have you been able to look at any of that?
I don't think I've seen it.
Okay.
I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, Kyle. And I'm sure I've heard it coming, but I don't think I know the logistics of it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not surprised. There was no. I just didn't know if anyone had shared it with you. It's not necessary. I think it is going to be necessary. Hopefully, we'll be able to get your review and some inputs before we finalize it, because it deals a lot with things like how often the wet wells are pumped out. It's a real maintenance plan that tries to identify how the frequency and spare parts and processes. So I very much, and the other members would look forward to getting your input, because you have so much hands-on experience and can help us, particularly with how often things are done.
Yes.
We don't want to overdo it, but as Mike said, maintenance is key to to stopping those call outs. So we want to be proactive, and I think you can help us do that.
Absolutely.
One of the things that's in it, and that you may already be aware of, is they've identified, they did an evaluation of the pump stations as part of the contract. Wright Pierce had did it for us. And they went and did it looked like a reasonably thorough evaluation of the pump stations, and came out with some, what seemed to be some serious concerns about some of our electronics and PLCs and things I don't know how to spell, being obsolete.
Yep.
And I'm wondering do you see much of that? Do you see many things that you're a little concerned that we're running on, it's working, but it's obsolete? It might give us some problems.
Yeah, I would like to see their report. I mean, we already knew that, and back when we did the skater at Leominster Road, we knew that all the PLCs and the PRG, all that stuff is obsolete. We knew that, which is why that we pushed for getting the newer PLC for Leominster Road and getting the skater and all that, and bringing all that stuff up to date.
Okay.
The two you're talking about right off the top of my head is Dana and Dana and Mass One. Those are very obsolete. Dana's a little newer than the other two.
Right.
But Mass One definitely is obsolete. Mitsubishi hasn't made PLC controllers in I don't know how long.
Yep.
So
yeah, Mitsubishi was one they pointed out. So okay, great. So it'll probably be nothing new. It'll probably be 9% stuff you already know, but it's good to have a sanity check on that anyway. So hopefully you'll get your eyes on that pretty soon before we
Yeah.
finalize it. The other thing that I'm sure Barb has talked to you about, we're trying to find I, imagine. And one of the tools that we're going to try to use, although it's not a perfect tool, but it's an indicator, a qualitative tool, is the pump stations and the pump run times. And Barb tells me that you're taking good care to give us good, solid runtime data. It's very, very important that we can on that data. Are you seeing any issues of getting good, consistent, reliable data for us on the runtimes?
I'm just having some trouble with Excel. It's all in there. Everything's good. I'm having some trouble totalizing. It's in the programming. It's a long story. I'm close. I'm real close. I have all the way from September 1st. So I'm just having some, what do you call it? Equation problems in the math. That's all in the programming, and I'm working on it. You'll have September to November 1st at the end of October. It's all in there. I just got to get it.
Okay.
And the
Barb,
algorithm.
Barb knows.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So you're saying
I can point you to two
process
states
the
right
data.
off the top of my head, and that's Mass 2 and Mass 3. They are constantly running. There's definitely I on those two stations.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think I can't remember. Maybe one of the other members can. I know there was a Mass 1 or 2 was identified by our contractor as being suspicious. So so you're seeing that. So great. And Barb, if you, as long as you work with Barb, she knows what the critical timing is, because we, it really is the only place we can really look at it. So it's important that we align with the metered quarters.
Absolutely.
So, okay, great. I'm happy to hear that, Al. And again, I'm very, very happy you're back, and look forward to working with you and your new team.
Good to be home.
Okay, before we go on, we have Brett on the line. Could you unmute Brett?
I can. Nope, I have to ask. Brett, unmute.
Brett, can you unmute yourself? We'll come back to you. Let's try Jack. Can we unmute Jack?
It's only allowing me to ask to unmute.
There you go.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, boy, I'll tell you, if my daughter can't figure out this thing, I can't get on. I don't know what happened here,
Oh,
but here we are. So,
Well, we're all
Here we-
just about to say goodnight, so
okay,
Oh, we wish.
see you later.
Bob, keep everybody unmuted during the next part here, just because it's easier that way. All right, so let's go back to announcements. Barb, you want to make the announcements?
My only announcement was just that this is our last meeting with Jack and that we'll miss him terribly. That was my big announcement. And now that you're here, I can say that. He's been a wonderful supervisor to me in the job that I do here, and wonderful support, and I will miss him terribly. So
Yep. Well, I found out from Heather today that they found a replacement, and they still have to ratify and do some negotiations. I wasn't privy to the name, as I should not be, but she's hoping to have somebody on board within a few weeks. So I think that's good news.
Big shoes to fill.
yes,
Jack, on myself, I just want to say that I want to thank you for everything you've done, not only for us here on Hickory Hills, not only for the town of Lunenburg, but I wish you and your family nothing but the best. I know you're going to be hanging around for a while and helping us with questions and stuff like that, which I appreciate. So Barb, you can still use Jack as questions or asset if you need them until the new guy gets on board and gets comfortable. But Jack, if you'd like to run for the sewer commission, we have an opening coming up at the end of the year. But on behalf of Betty and I, we wish you and your wife Sharon and Abby nothing but the best. It's been great working with you from the DPW building to today.
Thanks, Dave. I'll be over Saturday for a cocktail.
Anytime. In fact, I get your May want a seat out here for you, so you know where we live. Anybody
I
else?
do.
It's open to anybody else? Mike?
Hold on, Brett's coming back on too. He got popped off.
Looked like he's in his car.
Be-
It's only allowing me to ask people to unmute, just so you know. I can't just unmute them.
No, that's right, just click it.
I try, but
Okay, Brett, you gotta unmute yourself, Brett.
All right, is that working now?
there we go.
David?
Yeah, we got you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. I've been hearing, yeah. I heard a lot of that with Carl and the MP gentleman. So I'm good to go. Sorry, everybody. Love technology.
Okay,
Please continue.
can you see all, Brett?
I can. If I scroll right, I'll see all of you. Right now, I see whoever's talking and myself.
Yeah, okay. Are there any questions you want to ask Al and Chip? From our
From
main,
MP.
from MP?
So you're a little broken up, Dave.
Are there any questions you want to ask Chip and Al from MP?
Is that on my end, Barbara?
I don't know. Can you hear
Oh,
me clearly?
yes.
Yeah, there we go.
First of all, I just, yeah, gentlemen, thank you for being here. Glad to have you on board. And mostly I wanted to say that, especially with Jack leaving, it's great to have you guys who know the system. I know Al, you know this, our pump stations better than anybody. So glad to have you. I don't have any big questions for you right now. I just know that we're here. We're not here to micromanage you. We know you know your job. From my point of view, the reports about the pumps are very important, but you know that. And other than that, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it at that because I think you're going to do a great job. And if you have any questions, we're here. If we have any questions, we'll reach out to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. And also, we just talked about Jack. So I don't know if you want to mention anything to Jack about, this is his last meeting.
Dave, don't solicit. Don't solicit. I had a nice, Brett came in, we had a nice conversation last week. I wasn't even gonna get on here. I just wanna fade away. You know?
You got 4 more days. Go back. Brett, do you have any comments or are you all set?
3.
Do you have any comments or are you all set?
Are we talking to me, Dave?
Yes, Brett, sorry.
Yes. No, I don't have any more comments at the moment. My connection's not amazing, so I'm not going to interrupt this meeting any further. So let's move on. If
Okay.
have any additional questions, we can address them at another time.
Carl has his hand raised.
Who does?
Carl?
Carl, go ahead.
Oh, hi. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, I just wanted to take this opportunity. Don't get to see much of anybody nowadays. To thank Jack, and we're going to be missing a lot of his. He's got the history and the information, and yeah, we have Al back. Al's very familiar with the pump stations, but there's a lot more to the system than pump stations, as Jack well knows. And there's a lot of stuff in his head that we're gonna sorely miss. But I on a personal note, I'll back to Jackson's high school, and I'm very happy for him. I've become a big hit for trying to convince people to retire as soon as possible. Life is short, and Jack has missed a lot of his family's time, I know, and I'm very happy that he's made this decision, and he's going to be able to spend some quality time, and I hope a lot of years and a lot of happy years with his family. So good luck, Jack, and live long, prosper.
Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it, man.
John, any
Life
comments?
is short.
Well, I guess I would agree with all of the comments everyone has made. I think it's been, Jack, what has it been, like 30 plus years? I
Always seems
hope,
like 30.
yeah. I hope that whoever your replacement is, that their open door policy is as liberal as yours. I know I've dropped in many times. Thank you for your help over the years.
Okay,
Thanks, John. You know where I live.
all right, let's go down. We all set? Let's go down to current business.
Are we
I'm
all set with MP? I don't
Dave?
know. I want to hold these guys up.
going to ask Emprey to state, no, go ahead, Brett.
Dave,
Yeah, go ahead, Brett.
Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah, understood. I thought we were still that we were still discussing things with MP. I didn't realize we had actually moved fully on to Jack at this point. I did actually a couple things to and about Jack. I want to thank him for his many years. I want to thank him for going the extra mile in so many ways, going to bat for all of us, for tooth and nail, for his budget, the endless meetings with the selectmen. And he's had a very unappreciated position most of his career, but he's always put his best foot forward. And I think it's going to be incredibly hard to replace him. I've worked with many directors of towns over the years and still do. And it's a rare breed. And Jack has pulled it off very well. He's left us with many smooth roads, which I greatly appreciate. But I believe with his leaving, we are in for some bumpy ones ahead. And make no mistake, Jackie will be sorely missed. And over the next few months, all I can say is be nice to yourself as you decompress from all the stress that you've acquired over the years. And thank you in advance for any consulting that you are willing to do along the way for the new people and any of us that end up in a sheer panic from time to time. So thank you very much, and enjoy your time with your family, and thank them for standing by you through all those stressful days. And take care and Godspeed.
Thank you, Brett. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, Jack, I didn't get a chance to
See you
say
around,
much,
John.
but Jack, I wish you the best of luck in your retirement, and I really didn't get a chance to work with you too much. I kind of wish I had some time too, but good luck, and I hope everything goes good for you.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for joining up. Can use your help always. Thank you.
guys, very proud of you. Very, very elegantly sent. Thank you guys very much. Let's move on. Current business. Actually, Bob, it's Jack, if you want to bring up the next current business.
Well, it was just that we were looking for lists of issues to have Jack respond. We got one set of questions, and Jack had told me earlier we got him a little late, so he'll just prepare as much as he can respond, have something by the end of the week.
Okay. Anything else on the current retirement business there? You're all set? Mr. Luck, we're going on to the next subject. And Al and Chip, why don't you guys hold on just for one more minute? Is that okay? We'll just go over this part of the agenda. Mr. Luck, you want to make public comment? Is this where?
Okay. Am I on, Mr. Chair?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And I'm glad you're able to join us, Brett. This relates to the maintenance plan. For the sake of those on the commission who were not on the commission during the development of this plan, particularly the two members who were not at the last meeting, Brett and Mike, I wanted to briefly summarize the goal and the recent history on this matter, give you some context. First, establishing the maintenance plan for the sewer system is one of the major assignments given to us under the town charter. It's I would say it's only second to the comprehensive wastewater plan in terms of a key operating document that's extremely important to get in place. the plan is way overdue, and that's our fault in the commission, but we're finally close now to an end. To date, in in roughly 20-year history of sewer, there's really been no documented plan in place. There's been a lot of maintenance, but no documented plan. And so the goal of this plan is to improve the inspection and preventative maintenance of our system, and thereby the reliability and cost of this service to our users. A thorough and detailed maintenance plan is just good business practice, and I think Mike said that earlier in this conversation. I was very happy to hear that. The development of the plan started in 2019 with the release of contract to Wright Pierce. Wright Pierce is the company who developed our comprehensive wastewater management plan, so they are very familiar with our system, and we're fortunately bid on this contract and were awarded it. In November, they provided us a first draft of the plan that was received, and that's been made available to everyone on the site. Don't get its length of several hundred pages, because most of those pages are a document that you really don't need to agonize over. It was comprehensive, and it contained some valuable information that has unfortunately been left out of the draft plan that's being presented tonight. We'll talk about that as we go through it. In December, there was a review of this document with the Sewer Commission, December this year, and the DPW, that resulted in an update to the plan that was published in January of 2020 and incorporated the commission's inputs. Subsequent to that, DPW Director Jack and I think perhaps I've met separately with Wright Pierce and proposed additional changes to the commission's document that were made available in February of 2020, and that track change document has been made available to you. It's a February 21st or 22nd track change document, and is really the only document that you can easily see, where the majority of the changes were made. It has never been discussed in open meeting. Which is an important point we're repeating. The reason for the DPW changes to the first plan revision, some of which have significantly reduced the requirements of the plan, have never been discussed by the commission. Hopefully this will happen tonight, if the chair so chooses to go there. Then, as we all know, the pandemic hit us, and this topic was put on the back burner. Now tonight we'll review yet another DPW revision of the document with additional operational changes which is now being called the current draft. Unfortunately, it's been provided without track changes, so it will make it very challenging tonight to evaluate and discuss the proposed changes to the commission's draft plan. Tonight, I look forward, if we go into detail on that plan, to review key changes that were proposed by operations to the commission's January document, and understanding how these changes will improve the document and better serve the goals of improving the reliability and the cost of the sewer system. Hopefully the chairman will allow all comments and concerns to be discussed and addressed. Further, it's my hope that tonight's discussion will help all those involved, particularly our new members, become better informed on the issues, and we will all participate in this discussion with an open mind. As we know, tonight is the last opportunity we have to get Jack's firsthand input and an understanding of the basis for his suggestions, which I'm sure have good sound reasoning. To that point, I want to take this opportunity again to thank Jack. We will, and we all, as we did say, we wish him all the best in retirement. Just finally, and most important, I think, it's my sincere hope and request that we take what the commission learns tonight and continue this review and discussion with our new DPW director in a few weeks, maybe, who we've now confirmed will be starting. Hopefully they will be able to bring some relevant experience and to be able to contribute to an even better document, one that will fully buy, that he'll fully buy, or she'll fully buy and support. We owe it to the new director, ourselves, and mostly our customers, to not finalize this document until we have had the opportunity to take the new DPW inputs into consideration, as well as our system operators, Al, as we talked about earlier, and his team. I think this will make some significant contributions to this document before we sign it off. Just the process of review and discussion of this document and thereby our system needs should provide an excellent starting point for common understanding and good working relationship with our new director and sewer commissioner. And I look forward to all of those things. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. I take the lead from you.
See, we lost Brett again, so, okay. So let's talk about the maintenance plan. The last that it was in Jack and Barbara's hands. And Jack and Barbara, I see that you did the modifications per the instructions back a few months ago. So let's start with you, Jack. Are you happy with the changes that you made to the plan? Any questions, comments?
Clearly they were my changes, so was I happy with them? I did my best on them. I think everything that Carl said is correct in terms of the chronology. Maybe it's an oversimplification, but and it is in the hands of the commission, and it's one of the more important things that the commission will decide upon. You can do one of two things here. You can go back to the original, which was Rice's draft. Carl worked with them on this. You can start there and go all the way through. Perhaps that's the best way to do it. I'm not going to offer an opinion on that. Or you take the draft as is, as what a document, and then instead of I'm not saying accept it as it is, black and white, but accept it and then take time as you move forward with the new director and MP who isn't new, but the new maintenance contractor, and then discuss it sort of along the way. Put it on the agenda, not every night, but occasionally. And since it is the first go round, I'm sure that the commission, with MP's input, will be able to formulate a superior document, which the document itself says it should be revised regularly, and then come up with a better revision, or let's say a different revision by next June 30. I think that's the way to go, but you asked my opinion, so I'm going to give it. I'm not saying that the changes I made are all acceptable to the commission. I understand it's the commission's vote. But we are sort of mid-ships here. And I see it as a living document, a document that can be changed and tweaked along the way until it gets where we all feel it needs to be. And even then, will open itself for revision on an annual basis or an as-needed basis.
Okay. Barb, your opinion?
I would second Jack's opinion in that we do have a document, and it is a change from the original, but it's one that we've worked on together and with Wright Pierce. So we feel like it's a good document. It's a start. It's a placeholder. Here is the maintenance plan as of October 27, 2020, with a new director, in the wings. But at least we have a document to present to a new person and say it's a starting point. They may bring a lot of experience and knowledge, from their prior experiences that can add to it. And like Jack said, take a section. If there's certain sections that Carl really, feels strongly about, start with those sections that we can it's a working document. But to start it now with the director that's in place, and this is his recommendation, I think, to just cast it aside at this point means we would probably start again with a new director. The contract for Wright Pierce was $23,000. I don't want to throw it away.
Here's my comments about this whole thing. This is a very good document. I hope everyone had a chance to review it. Don't have to understand it totally, but review it. As Carl said, it's 20 years worth of work or 20 years coming. Now, the world has changed over the last year. This is something that we could be on here together for another 2 hours. What I recommend is do this, take this plan, ratify it tonight, and get it in our books. It's a done deal. Then from there, take Carl's advice and go through it section by section and review it. But at least we have something that is in place. We can start Al and Chip to go start working on this. And like I said, you can be talking about this for hours, but being on Zoom, it's very difficult to follow along. And this is why we need a workshop. And I'm hoping that public meetings start back up within the next few weeks after the election, who knows? But I just hope the next time that we all get together, we could talk about it. But this is something that took 20 years to get to. I would make, I hope someone will make a motion to approve this, put it into the system tonight, and then work on it over the next, well, forever, actually. I mean, this is something that we're going to be guiding with. But there are some important things in here that Emprey can start right away, as far as documentation and maintenance. So again, that would be my recommendation, and we'll bring it around the board. Start with you, Mike.
Dave, I agree with you what you're saying. So I'll be the first one to motion to put it into effect. But it is a starting point. Again, I'm new to the committee, and again, I kind of like what Jack was saying. It's a living document. You have to start somewhere. You have to have something on paper for everybody to follow and for everybody to understand. And again, we can work with MP and we can work with the new director when he comes in to mold this, to keep modifying it, to make it a better document as we're going forward. But I agree, we need a starting place, and I think this is a good starting point.
Thank you, Mike. John?
Well, I'm definitely of the agreement that this would be much easier to do face to face, going through this document. It is definitely a starting point. You know, you both use the phrase it's a working document, which is fine. But I just want to make sure that we follow through, and then we do review this at X number of months. We have a formal review when we have a new DPW director. It's a good starting point, but again, somehow these things end up dropping through the cracks and we don't follow through. So we're going to have to make sure that we follow through and work on it as time goes on.
John, we got to look at the past as the past. What we have to do now is, I would work on this at every meeting. Just take a section out of it.
Right.
So if we take it piece by piece, I have no problem with that either. And Barbara can put that on the agenda, and
Yep.
Carl can put in his comments and work it together. And when we do have a new DPW director, at least he's got a lot more here than what Jack ever had. So I think if we do it piece by piece, because a lot of this, by the way, is fine. I think we're talking about the middle parts of the policy that's going to be looked at. But I have no problem approving a piece by piece at every meeting. Does anybody else have a problem with that? That's what I would do.
No.
But let's finish the comments, though. I'm just saying is, that's what I like to do, keep working at every meeting. But we can't let things fall through the cracks. I can tell you that. I mean, that's something that we've been trying to do. And I think we're doing a pretty good job at it, even though we got COVID-19.
The only specific thing I would suggest we perhaps remove, it's a reference to Section 8 capital improvement.
What they,
On page 2.8, makes a reference to table 2.3, makes a reference to Section 8 capital improvement. That was taken out, unless I'm missing something here.
Carl?
You're not missing, John.
What's that? I mean, there is no Section 8, and the capital improvement plan was taken out of the maintenance plan, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So I'm just saying, let's take the reference to it out, since there is no Section 8 in this plan.
Oh, 2-8 you're talking about?
2-3. Last paragraph. I'm sorry, it's in table, it's section 2.6.1. It makes a reference to table 2.3. And then it talks about the recommended capital improvement listing. The following subsections are summarized in section 8.
Okay.
Unless I'm misreading that, there's no section 8, and capital improvement plan was taken out of the maintenance plan. Correct?
John, that's,
Barb?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
That is correct. And section 8 used to be section 7 in the original. If anyone wants to see what
Okay.
section 8 was, it was section 7, and it's more than just capital improvement. It's a matter of fact, it's the only place that this obsolete equipment we have is implemented. It's not an insignificant paragraph to just drop out.
Okay.
Bob, can you make a note of that?
I will.
Okay, Jack, do you have any comments on that?
I just want to remind the commission of the patience that some of you folks have had in the past, that, you know, when we talked about SCADA, most of you weren't here. That went on. I don't mean to exaggerate. I think Barb, correct me if I'm wrong, that was like 4 years of discussion. We talked about grease trap regulations, which was maybe more, well, certainly more important than SCADA. That took many years. There's no rush here. There's no rush. So even if this does take, you know, as we said, this is one of the more important things that the commission is going to establish and author. So I'm for taking your time, as you've suggested, Dave, and have others suggested, and maybe not every meeting or whatever, but take your time, like we did with the RFP. Take your time and get it right. Get it right, so you're all happy with it. There's no rush. Thank you.
Carl?
I couldn't appreciate more what Jack just said. We shouldn't rush it. As you say, we've been waiting for this document for 20 years, but we've put very little time into review of it. You know, back in December, or January actually, we sat down with the contractor, Wright Pierce, had a very short discussion, and then you know, they made a revision based on that short discussion and some input. It's had 2 revisions, and there's been no discussion on anything. So this document has really not been reviewed or had any discussion. So I don't think we should. I see nothing beside to releasing a document that hasn't been rigorously reviewed. It quite frankly has reduced some very important requirements from what was from where we originally were with the commission. I mean, you know, it's become, in its current state, it's more of a, you know, of a suggestion than a plan. There's all kinds of language been added in here about case by case and as appropriate, as opposed to a firm plan. So I don't think we should rush it. I think it deserves the time to go through the paragraphs. And I like the discussion that we're having of, you know, we can have a section every other meeting, we can address a section, because it's extremely important. And I know I missed a meeting that Jack was at, and he reported on some finds of some inadvertently, through some jetting, discovered that there was some sand or some, you know, something going on in the pipes. The plan, as it was originally proposed, had a schedule of, you know, as our last contractor recommended, that you would do a certain percentage of the system every year, so that after 5 or 8 years, you've inspected the entire system. That's I think the document that we have now, we would be doing ourselves and the next director a disservice to release this, implying that this is what we think is a good plan, and then start immediately revising it. I think we would be better off to give this plan unreleased to the new director, and start the process of really digging into it and having workshops on it. It's much better, I think, to look at this and have a discussion around what should it be than, you know, what should we change. So I think Jack's right. We have time. I think we should take the time and we should do this right. It's, as I said, it's important, perhaps more important than the comprehensive wastewater plan in terms of the ongoing, how we're going to maintain our system. And it should have, it should be fairly concrete. And this plan has dwarfed into something that is very wishy-washy and case by case. So I think we'd be doing everyone a disservice to discussion on this thing. Of a lot of important things. There's a lot of important things that have just been left out. And I think we'll be setting the wrong expectation with our new director or even ourselves if we approve this plan as it is. Let's take the time, Jack's words, let's take the time, let's get it right, and and not just, checkbox.
My opinion with that would be, you've been talking about this for a long time, and I think it's time to stop the talking. I would recommend going back to accepting this tonight so it doesn't fall through the cracks. Like John said, we can talk this to death, and that's not going to do anything. And in business, you want to go ahead. And when we get a new DPW director or sewer director, we'll sit down with him together as a group and explain what we're doing. But at least it's a guide. It's guiding us through a situation that we need, and it's a starting point. Not an ending point. It probably never end, but it's got to start somewhere. And I recommend that we vote on it and start it tonight and accept it and get going and make the modifications. We modify everything, Carl. You know that. You would change your mind 15 times if you had a chance, but at least we have a guide. We have a guide for Al and for Chip to start going. My recommendation. Brett, what's your comments on it?
I have to agree with you, Jack, Mike, and John, and I think we need to vote on it. I think we don't need to beat a dead horse because we can beat this horse at every meeting. So let's move forward with, Mike's motion and see where it lands. And hopefully we have a working document that is a living document as it is. And we'll address it at almost every meeting. And it won't fall through the cracks. And we all know it needs attention. So I don't think it's going to fall by the wayside. So let's move forward.
With that, Mike, could you give a motion, please?
I motion to start using this plan.
That's good. That's to the point.
I couldn't think of anything more than that, Dave. I'm sorry.
I second that motion.
Okay. Any discussion?
Well,
Yeah,
I also agree, Dave, too, that we need to keep working on this. We need to keep looking at it. And if we touch on it at every meeting, I think that's something, I think that's great. Again, with my background, we started out with, an OEM manufacturer or OEM maintenance program, and we continuously kept moving it forward and forward and forward to suit our needs to make things more efficient, keep uptime up, and, downtime emergencies, putting out fires were non-existent. I mean, they're always going to be there, but if you can make them like less than 5% of your time, I think that's going to be more efficient and better for us.
The other thing you got to look at, Mike, and I appreciate that, is like what John just said a few minutes ago about things falling through the cracks. And I remember on this commission before, you have to get a scope of responsibility or authority level. And at our authority level, especially after the new charter came out, it's quite clear. The operations, Barbara, Jack, DPW director, do their jobs, we do ours. So I do expect input from the new DPW director. I mean, he's being hired with some experience. So I think I agree with you. And let's put it to bed. So we have a motion. We're looking for any more discussion.
I guess my final comment is, whether we were to approve this tonight or not approve it, I believe we would be handing it to the new DPW director and saying, here, this is what we think you should use, knowing that we're going to keep looking at it. So I guess I'm leaning towards, wanting to pass it.
Okay.
Because it seems like we're all in agreement. It's a working document, and we know it needs to be improved.
Okay. Mr. Luck?
Yeah, I couldn't be more disappointed. The comment of beating a dead horse, the document has never been discussed in detail. That there's been significant changes. It's watered down to the point where it does nothing. It's not going to help, and it's going to send the wrong message. I'm just very disappointed that we're approving a plan that has been watered down, was submitted. We paid a lot of money to get a lot of good professional input. We got it. It was then gutted. And now it's to approve it without even discussing why the gutting happened. And
Appreciate that, Mr. Luck. So I'm looking for a vote. All in favor? Mike?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Carl?
no,
Brett?
Aye.
And I for myself. Okay,
it
Al,
sounds like, Mr. Chairman, this will be on the agenda going forward.
probably, yeah. And I'd like to have a workshop, basically, dedicated to this. But with COVID-19 going on and Jack moving on, I think this is I think we're making the right decision. I have no question that we're not making the right decision. If you do, Mr. Luck, I don't know why, because this is not going away. It's going to get better. Go ahead. But we have
Because I read it, Mr. Chairman, and I read the other versions, and I've seen the gutting.
Well, you know what? Sometimes things get gutted, Carl.
That's why.
But we have a direction and we have a way to go. And I think this is good. I think it's good
Yep.
for us.
Yep.
I think it's good for Emprey and it's good for
I
the
just
business.
didn't hear a firm commitment to having it on the agenda, that's all.
We're going to be.
We cannot,
Yeah, I'd like to have the new guy come on board before we talk about it again. And that should be in 2 weeks. So hopefully we'll have a new guy in 2 weeks. But
Plus, if I could just add, the original document was what, 200 and something pages? I think all the new members, it's a lot to digest, but I think this is at least a starting point.
yeah, thank you, John. I think that's all I'm saying is that as a business now, we have a starting point. We've been doing this for 20 years, guys. But now we have a guidance that we can sit down with Al and Chip and go over things and chat. But I don't see, as a business, I think we made the right decision, absolutely. Instead of keep talking about it, I mean, nothing happens by talking, guys. Sorry, it just doesn't work that way. This is something we have and we can build off of this. And I hope you see the opportunity. And Carl, if you're disappointed, I'm sorry, but that's a business thing more than a personal thing. And I know you take this personally, but you know what? It's in, let's move on with our agenda. And yes, Mr. Luck, I like to put it on the agenda, but if you guys, and like John just said, if you got 200 something pages you want to revise, let's do it slowly. That's all I'm saying.
Mr. Chairman, that's just an example of how familiar people are with this document. Of the 200 and something pages, there's only 60 pages that are really relevant to this discussion.
I didn't even want to bring up
The
those.
other copy of the NEPSI's permit, which is over 100 pages, has nothing to do with this. So it's apples and oranges, and it's all
Well, then,
fine.
let's-
Thank you.
okay, Emperor,
I don't take it personally. I just feel we're not doing a good job for our clients.
well, that's where 4 other people disagree, I guess. Okay, Chad and Al, again, wake up there, Al. Barbara, if you get a chance, go see Barbara.
I'll see you tomorrow.
And if you want to review this and just get a guidance of what we're doing. and
Yeah, I'm a little curious to,
You're doing most of it now.
looking for.
I will also send it to you electronically.
But the biggest thing I can't emphasize to you guys, most of all, and every board member or every committee member is going to be saying, where's this documentation? We have to stay on top of the data. We need the data. And I'm sure Kyle can attest to that. We need that information. We have to make sure we have it every week, month, or whatever the deadlines are. And I feel very comfortable that you guys would do that. So any questions for Al and?
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
if I could, Mr. Chairman, and it does really well, because one of the things that was completely deleted from this, we talked about documentation, which we have none in the system, which was one of the big reasons for this. The part where the documentation of repairs and maintenance are supposed to go has been completely deleted. So there is none of that in this.
Look, we're going to be.
I would request that MP be given the track changes documents so they can at least see what direction we were going in, the commission was going in before the new commission came in.
We're not going to be talking about this. We're done with that. Any questions for Al and Chip? Okay. Guys, thank you very much for coming tonight. I appreciate it. And we'll be talking to you soon.
All right, good to see you guys.
Good night, Al.
You all.
Right out.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys very much.
Tomorrow, Bob.
Appreciate it.
Okay, next item is Bright's Farm. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, just an update. We did get the peer review just yesterday, and I did send it out late. And I also had been asked by Russ Trees, who's the civil engineer for the project, to just submit the status of the project with the sewer commission. So I did also copy you on that.
Anybody see that meeting last night, by the way?
See what?
The meeting, the planning board meeting?
No, I didn't.
I did not.
No,
That guy did a pretty good job, actually. Okay. Any questions about Bright Farms?
I did read the peer review for the sewer commission. And it just looks like there's several things that have to be taken care of before
Yeah, Barb,
we would be able to consider it.
Barb, you got any comments on that? Did they get back to you or Jack? Yeah, Bright Farms, the engineer?
Oh, no, this is just, I mean, this was just last night it was reviewed, so
I don't know if
I
there's
haven't
something,
heard anymore.
we talked about it last night.
Hmm?
We talked about it last night.
Right, but I don't believe they've contacted, I know they haven't contacted me and I'm not sure about Jack.
Okay. Minutes, looking to someone to approve the minutes on 10/13. Looking for a motion.
I haven't read them, so I guess I would have to abstain on this one.
Anybody else? A motion to accept the minutes on 10/13?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second,
I read them thoroughly and they're fine.
second? Any seconds?
I'll second the minutes, Dave.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carl?
aye.
Brett?
Aye.
And an aye for myself. Barbara, I got meetings approval from 10/29. Is that in there?
You have what?
Approval for minutes of 9/29?
Oh, no. Yeah, so 10/13 was the minute. Did everyone get 10/13, I hope? Okay,
Yeah, we just approved 10/13.
yeah, 9/29 was approved at the last meeting.
Yeah. Correct.
All right. Business reports, 384 Math Ave.
Yes, this is the one with John Esposito from the last meeting. Jack did meet with him about the project, and he did confirm that it does have to get approval from the state. So even though I did receive a sketch by John, it will have to go to the state, and for Jack, most likely the state will require more of an engineered drawing. So that's on hold for now.
But that, our liability's out of it, so John's working with the state on the,
Correct.
good. Any questions on
Mr.
that?
Chairman,
Go ahead.
just on that point, we had given approval to something that there was no plan based on Jack's review and confidence in Jack. I would like to suggest that we revisit that, and that because there is more time and the state is going to be involved, is that we use the normal process where we would see a plan before approving the connection.
Well, we want a copy of that plan anyways that you're submitting to the state.
Well, at the vote we took was to approve based on Jack's approval of the plan. Clearly, we now are not going to have Jack's approval of the plan. So I think we should go back to our normal process, which is a plan is submitted to Barb and the commission and the DPW director review it prior to approving.
Hold on one second. Mike, I know you might have to take off. You have an emergency going on?
Yeah, I got an emergency call I gotta take care of. Is there anything that you need me to address now or?
No, go. Happy Halloween.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Take care, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, Mike.
Thank you.
Stay safe, Mike.
Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
What we told at the last meeting was for John to have, do a drawing with Jack and submit that drawing to us, if you remember that. Then we said it's up to you to go with,
Well, no, it was to review it with Jack, and because if you look at the minutes, which we just did, it was quite clear. We gave Jack the authorization to approve it.
let me finish, okay? We said at the last meeting for him to sit down and do a drawing, even a pipe drawing, that we can have it approved. Forget the minutes, I know what I said. Then we also said to John, you take responsibility. If the state has a problem with it, you're gonna deal with the state. So now he does. Let's get a copy of that drawing. That's all I'm saying. Nothing's changed, except now he's got to get a drawing done for the state. And Bob just asked him for a copy of that drawing, so we can look at it.
Can I speak now?
Yep,
Our vote was approval based on Jack reviewing a drawing and approving it.
yep.
That is no longer valid. That vote cannot physically happen because Jack's not going to see the drawing and approve it. So I think we need to use the regular process, and that when there is a drawing, that's because Barb's right. The state is, I haven't seen the drawing, which I'm surprised it wasn't sent out with the package if there is a drawing, which is kind of disappointing because we're supposed to sign, even though we gave Jack the authorization to approve it. But I'm pretty sure Jack, as Barb says, that from the sounds of it, the drawing is not going to be acceptable to the state, and a better drawing is going to be prepared. And I think we should see that, and then we should vote to approve the connection.
I think that's misinformation what you're doing, Mr. Luck, and I wish you stopped that. The state is going to get it, a drawing, because it's going on the state road. It has nothing to do with the design of the system. It's going on the state property, as we talked about last week. So I would stop dramatizing a little bit. They're going to the state. John's going to show them where the pipe's going to go on their roads. I don't think nothing else has changed. Bob, has anything else changed that I know of?
No, I mean, it was agreed that Jack had to sign off on it. And now it's kind of going up another notch, and now the state has to sign off on it. So it's up to the commission whether, if the state approves it, is that enough? Or do you want to have it come back and either be the commission or the new DPW director sign off?
If the state approves it, we're just going to rubber stamp it. I'm not going to argue with the state. Is anybody here going to argue with the state? I wouldn't. So, I mean, I would like to see a copy of it and keep it in our files. But we weren't anticipating the state to get involved. And if they did, we told John what they had to do. And they did exactly what they had to do. So I don't see anything changing, Mr. Luck. I don't think we have to delay this person. That's my opinion. And anybody else want to comment on it? But if the state approves it, we're going to approve it.
But we're not delaying them. The state is going to delay them. We're just asking to see the drawing, asking to do what we always used to do. This is the first time I've ever seen us, approve something without even seeing it.
Situation.
We now have another bite at the apple, and I think
So are you going
it's
to
a
delay?
different world.
Are we going to delay it for 2 weeks because the state's going to approve it?
We're not delaying anything, Mr. Chairman. They need state approval. All I'm saying is we should see the drawing
Which is what
before approval.
we asked for a copy of the drawing. I don't understand what you're talking about.
Well, where is it?
We're still working on it.
Where's the drawing?
As far as I know, they're
Do
still
we have
working.
a drawing, Brian?
I have a drawing, but it's not signed off. It was a sketch, and now that it needs to go to the state, Jack's opinion is we'll get a much more detailed drawing required by the state.
The state's going to want an engineer drawing, not a napkin drawing. And that's what we want a copy of, is the one that's going to the state. Hey, anybody else? Mr. Reynolds, any opinion on that?
The state is going to be much stricter than we are, so I'm not concerned.
Mr. Ramson?
Brett,
Brett?
Yes, was drawing the originals. Were you talking to me? I'm sorry. Can you folks hear me still?
Yes.
Am I still on?
yes,
Oh,
Yep.
okay. It's a little sketchy on my end, so stand by. But yeah, I mean, the original sketch was put together after multiple meetings with Jack in the past, with Jack's recommendations. And then this, as John just mentioned, the state is going to be more detailed and expect more than we will. So I am okay moving forward if the state approves of the design. These people are without septic. The contractor is racing against time at this point. And I believe Dave is right. We're going to end up rubber stamping it when it comes back from the state, because we're not going to send it back to the state after for different changes that we make. So I think we should approve it contingent upon the state's approval.
Thank you, Brett. I also want to make it clear that we're, as Mr. Lucky would say a lot, we're here for our customers. We're absolutely are right. We are here for our customers. As soon as the state approves it, I'd like to see her get her sewer put in, and whatever Esposito needs, let Mr. Esposito work with the DPW director. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Okay, generator maintenance. Barb?
yep, sorry. Only that MP is working on setting it up. Jack has been working with Al to get them online. I'm waiting for the financial side of it. W9 and the proposal, but Al's working on it. So I had it on here in case there was an update, but there's none.
Okay. Any questions on generator maintenance, guys? Okay. Invoice review. Go ahead, Barb.
Invoices, I've got the standard Fitchburg monthly, again, same, almost very close to the same amount as it's been the last 2 months, actually, for $14,554.08, based on our own flow data. So hoping that you would just sign off on that.
You
And
need
then otherwise, we've got Mead Tollerman that submitted their invoice for basically, well, from September 21st through October 20th for $252.91.
Do you need a motion for the Fitchburg payment?
No, it's just usually it's just a review and approval. The chairman normally would just initial it. It's based on what I submitted from flow assessment. So,
Any comments from anybody on that? Moving on. Oh, okay, moving on. Third-party billing tool status.
Yep.
Melissa?
I did send out the billing tool agreement. I have late. I haven't heard back. I kind of would be too quick for them to respond, so we'll wait on that.
Okay.
So, but you all got a copy of what we agreed to on there.
Any questions on that from anybody? Okay. 88 Mass.
88 Mass Ave. This is the they had a ZBA hearing on the 14th to increase it from a 3-unit kind of strip mall to a 5-unit, and that it was approved. The applicants are still aware that if they are going forward with the pizza restaurant and nail salon, that it will require them to come before the sewer commission for a change of use approval. So
All right, change
that's
of
the
use.
next step.
There's a pizza parlor going in. Would that require an external grease up?
Yes.
Is the landlord aware of that?
I believe I've added that. I think that was in my initial email. But the first step is the change of use.
I would double check that, make sure the landlord's aware that if he leases it out to a pizza parlor, they may be required to put an external grease trap.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dave, because the external grease traps are pretty pricey.
$7,500, I think. because you gotta do the plumbing on the inside of the building too. You
I
know,
thought it was quite a bit more than that.
Yeah, but we gotta catch the grease, do we not?
Oh, yeah.
But again, that always comes up as a tenant landlord thing, and all we care about is that it goes in properly. Let the retailers work it out.
Right.
But that'd be nice if it went there. That's a good space. Okay, Bob, next one, grease trap program.
Yep. And that's just the annual renewals. We had 4 outstanding. 1 has come in. I'm still working on the other 3. They have been sent certified letters with the non-compliance fee, and hopefully we'll get some response.
Turn left on State Route 2A.
And then on the first Tuesday reports, we just have one that's outstanding. Everybody else is current.
Okay. Any questions on that? Bob, you have no, is that all for your report?
The meter input project, Jane finished.
Thank you, Jane.
Jane, take yourself off mute and tell them, please, that how much I needed you. No, she just acknowledged how much fun Munis is, and
Am I on?
yes, you are.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I learned a lot about what Barb deals with Munis. And it was good to get it done. It did get easier as I did more of it, but Munis is a whole different animal.
Antique.
Yeah.
What
It's,
do you
it's,
Programming or something.
it's frustrating when you try to do something that won't let you do it.
Anyway, bravo to Jane. She did it, I think, very efficiently. I don't know how many hours, Jane. It was a lot less than,
Probably around 50, really.
so.
Just 50, yeah.
Not too far off.
There's a few things we haven't quite finished because they wouldn't let us update. It wouldn't update a meter, but we'll
Got a
work
sheet
on
of
that.
issues that we still haven't accomplished, but
Right.
Why don't we put
one
that,
step at a time.
why don't we put that as an update on our next meeting about when we're gonna be going live with it? Status?
Yep, it'll run parallel with Q2.
Okay.
And we'll find the issues, and then we'll try for, which is imminent. I mean, that's my next thing I'll tell you guys. I'm gonna be doing billing and nothing else can happen. So I'll be working on that, and we'll find out how it goes with the 800 plus meter IDs that she's input. But I'll still run it parallel because I need it to bounce off of. And then hopefully with the next billing, we can just go with only using the meter import for the meter readings. There's still a stack of paperwork. I almost met John stopped by today, and I was going to show him, like, this is still billing. This is my input stuff for the billing, which meter import won't help. It's all the other just administrative stuff. So it's a process, but we're great, and I'm so grateful to Jane for doing the work.
See, that's what's,
Barbara, when this is all done and working, up and working, what are you going to do with all your time?
this is
Correct the maintenance
Good thing you're on
plan.
Zoom, John.
what's awful about Zoom, okay? Because look at all the work I gotta go through just for one meeting. And that was funny. Okay.
Well done, Jane and Barb. Good team.
Thank you.
Just think you
Jane.
can move on to wrapping Christmas presents now.
Okay, members' agenda inputs for future meetings, and I guess we're gonna throw on there for a while, the maintenance plan. And when the new DPW director comes on board, we'll work out a plan on how to attack it and do it that way.
Yeah, I hope she's willing to work with us.
What have you heard? Okay. Any other agenda inputs from the members?
None at this time.
Hey, I'm looking at, is there any public comment out there? Barb, is there anybody else?
No, there's not.
Okay, any public comment from the board? We'll start roll call. Mr. Luck?
Oh, comment? Yeah. No, I'm commented out. Thank you, Dave.
Mr. Reynolds?
I guess my only comment would be, I really don't want this maintenance plan, reviewing it as we go forward, to fall through the cracks.
No, and it won't. If it does, shame on us, John. Brett, Brett, are you parked in the back parking lot somewhere, or where are you?
Yes, I'm outside of my audiologist's office. It was as quick as I could get on. I'm still in Leominster.
Go home for dinner. You
But
have any comments?
it allows me to hear what you're saying, so it was worth the stop.
You know what, Brett, thank you very much for going the extra mile. I appreciate that, but you can go home now.
Well, I didn't want to miss the MP meeting, and certainly didn't want to miss, Jack's last meeting. And,
Yep.
and we had a lot of important things to cover this evening, and I'm just glad I made it on in time to be a part of it. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. And one more reminder, I asked Bob to make copies of this report. It's at the DPW if you want to play with it on paper instead of
This
going.
one?
There you go.
Short one.
But you can start somewhere.
Barb already gave it to me. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Our upcoming scheduled sewer commission activities, October 27th is our next meeting. It's participate remotely, November 10th, and then November 17th, and November 17th is a special town meeting at the Leominster High School.
Lunenburg,
Go ahead, Barb.
Lunenburg High School.
What did I say, Leominster?
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
But is this October 27th, upcoming October 27th meeting a misprint?
Oh, yes, November 10th is our next one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry. November 10th, November 17th, and then we'll have November 24th if we are going to do it. Usually, a lot of times we don't. That's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So
Oh, okay. What's November 17th?
the town meeting, special town
Oh,
meeting.
oh, right.
we have one warrant article, I think. Is it one or two? Barb, I think it's one, right?
I
One
think it's
more.
just one, right?
Hopefully it'll be a nice town meeting. With that, my public comment is, no, go ahead. Carl, do you want something?
Well, yeah, I sorry to interrupt you. I would like to, from a public comment point of view, I would like to enter into the record. I've put a lot of effort into putting comments into the maintenance plan that was just approved. And I would like to put into record that that marked up copy for the commission for their education and for going forward. So I will send that to Barb to be entered into the record and distributed. Thank you.
Okay, you got that, Jan? Jane, you nod your head. Did you get that from Carl? Okay. Again, Carl, thank you for your work on that maintenance plan. We do appreciate it. With that, my public comment is I hope everybody has a safe
Yes.
very Halloween. Be safe out there. And again, I'm looking for an adjournment to end. A motion.
So motioned.
Second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, Mr. Ramsden? Brett?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Carl? Carl?
Aye.
And an aye for myself. Good night, guys, and Jack, good luck to you. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Thank you, Dave.